You ever meet a woman and the energy just clicks? Like it's not forced, it's not some game, it's just there. You talk for hours without checking the time. She laughs at your dumb jokes, opens up about things most people keep to themselves. You leave those conversations thinking, damn, this one's different. And maybe for the first time in a while, you'll let yourself believe that this might actually turn into something real. Then slowly, almost silently, the shift begins. It's not dramatic, it's subtle. She starts replying slower. The emojis disappear. The warmth in her voice fades. She's busy more often. Suddenly, the connection that once felt effortless now feels like work. You find yourself questioning every move. Did I text too much? Did I say something wrong? Did I come on too strong? But what if it's not about what you did wrong? What if the very thing that drew her in, the connection, the depth, the realness, is the same thing that's making her pull away now? See, this is where most guys get stuck. They think everything has to make sense. We want answers, reasons, logic, but emotions don't work like that. Attraction doesn't follow neat little rules. When things start to feel real for her emotionally, it triggers a part of her that isn't ready for what's unfolding. You might think she's losing interest, when in reality, she's feeling more than she expected to. And for some women, that's terrifying, especially if she's been hurt before, especially if every time she's opened up in the past it ended in regret. You think her pulling back is rejection, but it's not. It's fear. It's vulnerability. It's her own defense mechanisms kicking in to keep her safe from something she's not sure she can handle. Because here's what most guys don't understand. Connection is easy when it's shallow. When it's surface level, compliment her, flirt a little, keep things light. That's the safe zone. But the moment you step outside, that's when you start seeing the real her. When you pay attention to the way her energy changes when she talks about her past, or how she hides her insecurity behind a sarcastic smile, it's when the walls go up. It's not because you crossed a line. It's because you got too close. You made her feel something that wasn't part of her plan, and that scares her more than you'll ever know. She didn't expect to feel seen. She didn't plan to care this much. Now she's trying to slow it down before it speeds up and takes her somewhere. She doesn't feel emotionally prepared to go, so you're left in the confusion, sitting in the silence, wondering where it went wrong. And the truth is it didn't go wrong. It went real. And that's exactly when the fear creeps in. Not yours. Hers. And unless you understand that, you'll always take it personally. When really, it's not always about what you did. It's about what she felt. And whether she was ready to feel it. Most guys think women crave attention, and to an extent, they do. Compliments, stares, validation, it's what they're used to. But there's a massive difference between being admired and being seen. Admiration is easy. It's shallow. Anyone can do that. But being seen, really seen, is different. That's when you notice the subtle stuff. The hesitation in her voice. When she talks about her family, the shift in her mood when she walks into her room, the patterns she doesn't even realize she's stuck in. That kind of attention, that's the kind that gets under her skin, not because it's wrong, but because it's rare. She's not used to it. Most men don't go that deep. He sees the outer version of her, the beauty, the confidence, the attitude. They don't bother asking what's behind it. They don't pause long enough to see the parts she tries to hide, the parts she's learned to keep. Protected because the world hasn't exactly been kind to her softness. Then you show up. And you don't just compliment her eyes you notice when they look tired. You don't just flirt with her. Well, if you pay attention to the silence between her jokes, don't just enjoy her company, you study it. That makes her nervous. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because for the first time she's not just being looked at, she's being understood. And for someone who's spent years keeping her guard up, that level of clarity feels threatening. She might play it cool, make light of it, act like it doesn't faze her, but it does. Deeply, it catches her off guard when someone actually listens instead of waiting for their turn to talk. It surprises her when someone catches the details she didn't even mean to reveal. It scares her when someone sees through her image and straight into her soul. That's when the pullback starts. She doesn't know how to process it. The attention she's used to getting has always been transactional, predictable, easy to manage. But this what you're giving her, it requires emotional presence, vulnerability, openness, and that's not her comfort zone. Not yet. So she starts to retreat. Not because you crossed a line, but because you reached a depth she's not sure she's safe to swim in. She might change the subject when things get personal. She might cancel plans last minute. She might respond with lol to things that aren't funny. All of it is an attempt to keep the emotional temperature down, to take back control. Because what you're offering, emotional intimacy without demand, that's foreign to her. She's never had it before. And the first instinct when faced with something unfamiliar isn't always to lean in. Sometimes it's to back off. You didn't scare her off. You saw too much. Now she's wondering if she's ready to be that. Visible. Because being seen isn't just about feeling good. It's about feeling exposed. And that kind of exposure, even when it's gentle, can feel like danger when all she's known is judgment. There comes a point in almost every growing connection where she pulls back just a little, not because she wants to end things, but because she needs to see something. It's not always conscious, and it's definitely not a game. It's her fear, quietly asking a question. Is this safe? Can I trust this? She'll shift the vibe. Maybe she won't reply as fast. Maybe her tone changes. Maybe she just becomes slightly harder to read. And here's where most men mess it up. They flinch. They start chasing. They double text. They over-explain, trying to fix a problem that was never verbalized. That energy? It tells her everything. It tells her that your calm, your control, your confidence was conditional, and that it only existed when she was showing you affection. When the moment she pulled back, you unraveled. To her, that's not strength, instability. It's not leadership. It's neediness in disguise. What she's really looking for in that moment is not a rescuer, but a rock. She wants to see if your sense of self is anchored in something deeper than her validation. She needs to feel that you're grounded, not reactive, not emotional, not chasing every shift in her mood. Because when a woman starts to care, her fear doesn't ask, is he perfect? It asks, is he steady? So when she pulls back, don't panic. Don't push. Just hold your ground. Let her recalibrate.
Always.
Let her feel your consistency.
Cause.
When you stay calm in the face of emotional turbulence, she doesn't feel abandoned, she feels safe. And that's the moment she starts to trust you, not just as a man, but as a presence she can lean on when her emotions get too loud to manage on her own. There's a version of herself she's worked hard to protect. The independent one. The emotionally untouchable one. The woman who doesn't need anyone. That identity gives her control. It makes her feel powerful in a world that constantly tries to take power away. And you come in not trying to fix her, not trying to dominate, just showing up, calm, consistent, unaffected, and everything starts to shift. Suddenly, she's softer with you. She feels more feminine, more open, more emotional. That scares her not because you did something wrong, but because you're unlocking a side of her she's not used to showing. She starts questioning herself. Why do I want to tell him everything? Why do I feel safe with him when I swore I wouldn't let anyone in? This inner conflict grows louder. Her walls were built for a reason, and now she feels them cracking. It's uncomfortable. It's unfamiliar. And unfamiliar often feels dangerous even when it's good. What does she do? She pulls back. She distances herself, not to hurt you, but to protect the identity she's always relied on. Vulnerability, even when welcomed, is still a risk. You represent something deeper, something stable. And that stability makes her feel things she promised herself she'd avoid. But she's not running from you. She's running from the woman you make her feel like, the one who lets go, who trusts, who feels deeply. That version of herself is beautiful, but also terrifying to her because it's new. So she retreats to the version that feels safer, detached, guarded, in control. Let her, don't chase, don't try to fix. Just stay grounded. Because if it's real, she'll come back not to reclaim control, but because she realizes with you, she doesn't need it to feel safe. Every woman has a mental Listevan, if she never talks about it. A file tucked away in her mind called Men Who Let Me Down. It's filled with names, moments, betrayals, and all the times she trusted too soon. opened up too wide, and ended up paying for it. Even if you're doing everything right, her guard is still up. It's not because of you, but because of what came before you. She's watching whether she says it or not. It's watching to see if you'll slip into the same pattern as the others. Sometimes. She'll pull back just to see how you react. Will you get passive-aggressive? Will you try to guilt trip her? Will you say one thing when she's sweet and turn cold the moment she pulls away? She's not trying to play you. She's protecting herself. She's seen how.